All right, let's talk about the season 4. Season 4 of Guild Wars is gonna catch up now. It's gonna start back up November 28th, in just about 2 weeks. And I want to talk with you guys about what we might be able to like expect. Like reasonably, what can we expect from this season to come? And what can you do to prepare for that? Because I've got quite a lot of thoughts on that as well. So firstly, let me pull up this thing real quick. The trailer, season trailer. So I'd long expected that we were going to be going to see different changes in the actual open world, like the Path of Fire maps that we already have. And this trailer at the very end kind of confirms that immediately. Because this place, let's do it without sound real quick. This place is the Oasis. Thanks for the follows, but apparently I have my screen is completely frozen here for a second here. All right, this is the Oasis, the Crystal Oasis, right about. Let me show you. Right about here. We're kind of looking off onto this area kind of thing. You can see it from the pipes here and the temples or pyramids and whatnot. So we're definitely going to be seeing some kind of change. The question here is where and how are they actually going to implement it, right? Is this just an instance? Is this just going to be like, yeah, okay, we go in, we clear the stuff real quick, and then we go out of the instance and everything is fine? Or is it going to be like it was in Season 1, where the environment dynamically changed with the season, and this purple aura and chaos and everything in the city is going to be a stable thing for X amounts of time and then go away? Or how's it going to be? I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see. One method of doing this that I kind of liked, which I saw from a fellow YouTuber, or streamer that is, was what if it's kind of like in a rotation. So like once every other hour, this kind of event is on, and stuff happens, and then every other hour again, or the next hour, you'll have the Piñata event. Because you have to consider that if this changes the map entirely, then, well, everything's gonna change, and it's even just gonna be spoiling people from the story of like what happens immediately from coming into the first map, which is kind of gonna be weird. But yeah, all right. So from the Living Story Season 4, what can we actually expect to be getting, right? We can possibly expect a map. That's more or less likely. Or is it going to be just changes here and there? I'm more on the favor of we're going to see a lot of different instances with different visual views like this, and then we'll have a map. We'll have a map probably around this area would be my guess, the Kralkatoric area. I would like to see some of the areas out here as well, Dashka and stuff like that, but I'm heavily expecting it to be somewhere down here that we're actually going to be seeing it. We potentially might just like continue through this wall somehow, like I don't know, something, right? But other than just the content, and this is what interests me the most, we can reasonably assume that we're gonna get a new mastery. We can reasonably assume that we're gonna get at least one new legendary, maybe two. I'm expecting two personally, and we can reasonably expect a new Fractal, especially since we know that with the coming update, we're also going to be seeing a lot of Fractal reward changes, which has kind of been alluded to by the devs on Reddit. And then some people have kind of said that we can reasonably assume to be getting a raid as well, which I'm very skeptical of. I have to say I'm very skeptical of whether we're getting a raid with the living story and with a Fractal. I mean, maybe it's not going to be Fractal as well, but just a raid and the living story. But we can reasonably assume that it might happen, right? So what can you do to prepare for this? And I kind of made a tiny list of things that I've done to prepare myself for the inevitable situation of needing masteries fast and getting the rewards fast. If anything, let's start with the let's start with the mastery. Mastery points in general. You may want to go out and get all the different Path of Fire masteries. One of the, I kind of made a sheet here. This is not for the stream necessarily that I made this. This is just for myself. I kind of keep track of these things. Path of Fire had a very low bar of entry for like XP in general and mastery points. 64 total mastery points for getting all of the different masteries, and then 12.3 million XP, which is nothing compared to like Heart of Thorns. Heart of Thorns. Let me scroll down a little bit here, if I can. No, apparently it won't let me. Oh, that's great. That's great. Can I just? There we go. Oh, whatever. There we go. 120 mastery points for Heart of Thorns. That's not considering all the Central Tyria shit and stuff. And then 55 million XP. That's for the raids as well and stuff, which is kind of a crazy thing to consider. And then we have, which is arguably probably the most interesting for the scenario, is the barrier to entry of like the Living Story Season 3, because we're probably going to be seeing a complete redo of this system. This is probably going to be exactly how we're going to see the next mastery line or whatnot. It's going to be a low barrier to entry. It's going to be not a whole lot of mastery points. Mastery points that you're probably going to be able to get instantly from what's it called, the actual map that we're going to. That makes no sense. Oh, okay, yeah, that's average per mastery point. But like, it's 500,000 XP. That's what every single mastery required for the Living Story Season 3. For Path of Fire, it was a little bit more linearly progressive from the different tiers and whatnot, which I much rather prefer, to be honest. But I get why they do the other thing. One way that you can go about getting your mastery instantaneously. When we get to the actual season, is that right now you can begin to you can do your desert dailies, which are very easy. It's just the dailies that pop up here. Sometimes there'll be a desert daily. It'll be marked with the chest of there we go. With a chest of desert hero or chest of plants, desert cloud. It'll say desert. But alternatively to this, which is much more reliable, is that you can go out and you can farm casino coins. Farm casino coins, because every casino coin, one casino coin, I'm gonna use one here. There, one casino coin is 635 XP. Now, if just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna do this so you all can see this. That's 635 times 250. That's 158,000 XP for one stack of these. So just to get that hit the low bar to entry, which is like 500,000, you'll need just about like 3 stacks of this. This is easy to get. The casino coins you get from, I'm not even sure if I have on this map. Yeah, you get it in Amnoon from the meta event that takes place every other hour, and you want to just like be there on the clock. It takes about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get in the right map, and then actually play the content, and then you have a chance to also get the festival. Wait, is it called festival? No, confetti. Yeah, festive. That was the thing. Festive confetti infusion. That drops from the pinata. So if you want to both have a chance at that and guard yourself against the possible XP wall of the next season, you wanna get some casino coins. Now I've whole guarded myself entirely. I have about 7 million XP here. I think it was 6 million or something, which is absolutely crazy. But it should be more than necessary for the entire season. So I'm all set. Let me go back to my other character real quick then. Actually, I'm gonna stay here for a second because some of you that's the end of the mastery track, whatever. It might actually, on a last note actually, it might actually just be that we're not getting a full new mastery track, which is a living story mastery track with a potentially new mount, which I'm kind of expecting. A new mount which progressively will take shape over the course of the living story. Perhaps what we'll just see is an extension, and next kill that music real quick. A potentially new mastery for any of the other mounts. Possibly the Griffin mount will get something new, blah blah blah, and then if that happens, we're gonna possibly be following the progressive increase of XP. Just consider that, and don't necessarily just aim for the 500,000 XP, but potentially we might be seeing more. That's another point. Anyways, so with that out of the way, with the masteries out of the way, which is a possibility, blah blah blah, you should get those. Next point I want to talk about are legendaries. Because legendaries are super interesting to me. I'm really interested in getting those. And if you want any of them, now we can reasonably assume that there's going to be a weapon from the Heart of Thorns times, which is going to be very much linked to all the old things, Heart of Thorns, which is what are they called real quick? These things, amalgamated gemstones. You want to get your crystalline ore. You want to get all of those regular things, right? And you want to get a butt ton of wood right now. Start gathering. You want to get a butt ton of mithril. But most interestingly is the potential, at least to me, the most interesting potential for me is that we're gonna see another legendary trinket, or at least the start of another legendary trinket. Now, this might happen with the living story. If it doesn't, it might happen with the raid that's potentially coming. And I mean, if we're really lucky, it might also happen with the Fractal system. I don't expect it to happen, but it might.
Sadly,
And if that happens, if we're in for any kind of living story related, Path of Fire related legendary trinket, you might want to hold on to every single one of your trade contracts and every single one of your elegy mosaics. These might be invaluable to purchasing small little things for collections, or some of the gifts that you need. For Aurora, for example, you needed 250 of... Wait, I already passed it. 250 of each of these living story materials. I think it was actually a little bit more because you had to do the collections as well. And so you kind of want to hold on to all of these contracts, or what's it called? Not contracts, currencies. Now I've been an absolute idiot because I was totally expecting the season to come later. So on Tuesday or Monday when they reintroduced the Primeval Steward, which is the vendor that stands up here that sells the funerary weapons for the collection, I just went ahead and purchased all of the weapons and got that collection out of the way, got it done. But now I'm at 4 Elegy Mosaics, and that kind of sucks. So I gotta farm those up myself. But that gives you all an incentive to do the legendary bounties around the world. Now, another interesting thing, which is the reason why I stayed on this character for a little bit longer, is that we might actually see these used somewhere. They're currently Mystic Forgeable, but they're Mystic Forgeable with nothing. There's no recipe. There's nothing. We might see something happen to that, but who knows? That's the only reason why I'm holding on to these in the first place. I wanted to show you guys that. Going back to my other character real quick. So you want to hold on to your trade contracts. Now, a way of getting easy trade contracts every day, regularly, is to go to where I just was, basically. I shouldn't have swapped character, but go to the Tomb of the Primeval Kings, right? And place all your alt characters in here. And there are 6 chests every day that you can gather with your with that character. They're character bound. And then there's 1 lost chest, which is account bound, which you also want to grab. Now, while I've been doing it, I've been keeping stats on the, here we go. Oh, wait. All right, never mind. I've been keeping stats on how effective it actually is, like the different chests and whatnot. I kind of did a 4-week thing where I just kind of plopped in my things here and there. And the average per chest, as I've calculated over 4 weeks, the average total trade contract per chest is 4.2, 4.3. And the average per toon, per character, is about 23, 24, depending on your luck. So that easily, for me, who placed 15 characters, that easily racked up to like 300, 400 daily trade contracts just for logging onto that character. That is a huge win for not a lot of effort, or a huge profit for not a lot of effort. I can totally recommend that. So yeah. Another thing which you might reasonably want to consider in case we are to get another legendary trinket like Aurora. I'm heavily expecting an amulet for Path of Fire, since all of the different Path of Fire story journal, here we go, all of these gave different amulets. So I'm heavily expecting a potential legendary amulet to come. But if we are to assume that one of those are coming, you might want to do to optimize how you do map completion, because if they do choose to include map completion gifts on the different or for the different gifts for the legendary, you might want to optimize where and what maps you do with the different characters, right? I myself went to great lengths to like whole guard myself again, like from the very start, because even for just the what are they called? The specialization thing, the specialization collections. There we are. For the specialization collections, you gotta do map completion as well. You gotta do map completion as well with all of the different characters. So what I did was that I made a list of all the different characters that I had to do it on, and then I made a needed section. I wanted to have 3 overall, 3 whole map completions of every single map across all the characters. So I did the spreadsheet. I did all of them with my Guardian, firstly. That was one full. And then it kind of just spread it out. Did 2 or 1 on the different characters that were easy. Just so that I would end up having 3 total completions. So that in case they're actually used, I would be able to combine to get 3 gifts immediately. In case. That's the thing. That's the key word here. Because there is no guarantee. There's no guarantee. And yeah, that's probably the the best way that you can guard yourself towards any legendary trinket coming into the game is the currencies, the trade contracts, and elegy mosaics. Especially the elegy mosaics, you really want to look after those. Now I'll say this: the elegy mosaics might get changed with the patch, so that they're a little bit more easy to get. Currently, what you have is a selection which says you have an opportunity, a common opportunity of getting 2 to 4 elegy mosaics from a legendary, and then it's a rare to get 7 or 10, I think it is, and then 21. I think it's 21 or 24 is very rare. It's in the very super rare category, and so they're super hard to get. It's a real grind to actually get a significant amount of elegy mosaics, but you really want to go for those. I bet you that if we see a legendary come to the game, these will be used, or a Path of Fire legendary trinket, these will be used. The elegy mosaics. That and the map completion. Lastly, as I said, now we can't actually assume anything for the raid. I mean, maybe the raid will have a mastery and you'll have the same option as we had with the other masteries with the casino coins and whatnot. But we can't reasonably assume that there's going to be a raid necessarily. But we might reasonably assume that there's going to be some fractal stuff, right? So if you want to guard yourself against any changes for fractals coming into the game, my advice to you would be right now, if you're doing your daily fractals, and even if you're not doing your daily fractals, maybe you're burnt out, maybe you're a little bit tired of it, I recommend that what you do is you go and do your dailies and you save these chests. You save all of them, even the uncommon ones, so to speak. You want to be able to look through this once the patch goes live and see if anything has changed, because if things are changing, the rewards here might be a little bit different as well. You might wanna get those rewards from there. Now, it's not guaranteed that these chests will be updated though. It's kind of a coin flip every single time. It's been a coin flip every single time. I always I just stack my chests up, and then whenever a patch goes live, a reward patch goes live, I open a bunch of them. And sometimes the fractal rewards have been updated, but sometimes it hasn't. It kind of seems to be whether they forget to or remember to or not. So that's a way of doing it. Save your daily chests, and you want to save all your relics, and you want to save all your pristine relics. Every single one of them. Don't use them unless you need something very urgently or whatnot. Don't use them. Don't even use your golden fractal relics, because if anything's gonna change, we might reasonably assume that anything might change. So why not? Save your golden fractal relics. Save all your relics, because we might get some really, really cool stuff for those things. Same goes for the integrated fractal matrices. Don't buy your +5s and 5 infusions now or whatnot. Hold on to that. And if you wanna go complete crazy, fractal encryptions might give you a little upper hand here or there. Maybe not. Probably not. These are the least likely to change anything, to change in any way, shape, or form, but it's worth considering. And And so yeah, that's about it. That's about all the ways that I at least have prepared myself for the coming of the season 4, and the crazy things that might happen there. I see a Choya. Oh yeah, lastly, you might want to save your unstable cosmic essences as well. Even though those are totally in the category of potentially not changing whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. Oh yeah, thank you for mentioning, actually. These. I almost forgot. Fractal research pages. Fractal research pages, save those. Save those, they might be used for something. We actually, Ben, one of the developers, the Fractal developers, said that this might be used somewhere, so you should hold on to them. So hold on to every single one of them. And even if they don't, the Fractal research pages, they sell for a little bit of gold. So once you've just combined all of them, if you've held on to them, you can just sell them. You can just sell them. Even though I wouldn't advise you to do so. So yeah, Fractal pages as well. And that's about it. That's how I would recommend that you prepare for Living World. Sorry, it's not called Living Story. Living World, Season 4, coming on November 28th. Where is it? There it is. Living World returns November 28th. So yeah.